Hello, so we are going through UPSC key of every day, covering the current affairs for Prelims 2025. So now this is an article on state finances, and we are going to discuss what are the various sources of state finances. See, there is something called OTR, which is own tax revenue, and there is something which is central contribution, funds from center. So the state finances, mainly the sources side of state finances are divided in two headings. One is own tax revenue, and second is the state share in the central tax revenue. Right? So this is called OTR. Now what happens is, now here's the question: what is the share of own tax revenue of a state, and what is the share of the central tax revenue of a general state? So what is the share of OTR? If there's a question and in one of the options it's written that the state's own tax revenue share contributes to more than 50% of state's revenue, is that true or false? That is the question here. So overall breakup, that means if OTR is 61%, that means the share of states from the central revenue is about 39%. So overall own tax revenues of the state are the largest chunk of state's revenue, and within the OTR there's a division. Within the OTR, own tax revenue, there is GST collected by the state, the interstate GST, etc., collected by the state, that contributes to OTR, which makes the largest chunk of it. If this is the state's total revenue, 32% of it is coming from GST, which is a part of OTR, and then there's excise duty and sales tax, that goes about 22%, and there are stamps and registration fee that we do when we purchase land or property, etc., that goes about 7%. So this is the makeup of the state's OTR, and other than that comes from the central tax as a share of it. So it is, of course, more than 50%. The state's own tax revenue contributes to 61% of its total revenue. So we are going to do a new concept called the per capita GST. The GST is a consumption based tax. That means जहाँ पे consumption हो रहा है in which state, वहाँ पे GST का टैक्स उस स्टेट को मिलेगा जहाँ कंज्यूम करेंगे वहाँ पे, origin में नहीं. So a state with less consumption leads to less GST revenues for the state. Right? So जब state का revenue is falling short, then it has to be supplemented by the center, and it depends more on the center. So for the state's financial autonomy, independence, it needs to increase the consumption within the people of the state.